Alrighty, you guys. So welcome to our first team call of June 1st. So seems so crazy. We are halfway through the year already. So today I am super excited to bring Shalida onto the call. So Shalida is one of our rock star leaders on our team, and she is a busy mommy and works full time and has just a super crazy schedule. And from day one, totally rocked it. I'm not sure how. Well, I do know how. She's organized enough, at least, to get everything done. Now, everybody's form of organization looks different, but Shalida knows what she needs to do. When we first started working together, when she first signed up, she asked lots of questions. So I always tell my new coaches, ask lots of questions. Make sure that you're reaching out to me, because then I know you're in the trenches, you're doing the work, and the better our relationship grows. So remember when you're a new coach, and if you started off when there was no coach basics or there was no coach training, you worked really closely with your personal coach, right? Your upline coach. Well, now we have a lot of new coach trainings, and it can get overwhelming. And what we feel as a new coach is not overwhelming is still extremely overwhelming for new coaches. Shalida and I worked really closely together. I pointed her in the right direction. She did the work. She came back and asked questions. She was like the perfect student in class. And it might not have looked perfect behind the scenes, but when Shalida wanted to reach a goal, she asked exactly what I did. I told her exactly what I did, and that girl got after it. She made no bones about it. She made no excuses. From day one, she was driven. We didn't even know each other. We met through social media. She saw one of my posts. We talked on the phone 2 weeks before I left for Mexico, the Success Club trip a year and a half ago. And the girl got to Diamond in 29 days. And the reason why was because she was so inquisitive on having success and building a business from the beginning that I shared exactly what I did with her. So think about that. Think about you as a coach, and you have the choice today to draw the line in the sand to create your success, to build your story. Your story can start today. I don't care if you signed up 2 years ago. If you decide today that you want to start building your business and you want to start fresh, you have that opportunity. You have the opportunity to draw the line in the sand for your excuses and what you're letting happen get in your way, and make some changes today. That's the awesome part about life. Each day we start fresh, right? Every day is a reflection of how we can improve. And Shalida did just that. Every day she had questions. Yeah, she has struggles. She goes through ups and downs just like any of us, like hot mess behind the scenes, just like each and every one of us. But she makes no excuses. She always keeps a positive attitude. She always stays strong, and she always just figures it out. And there is nothing that has ever changed her mind of wanting to build a full-time income in this business. You know, she's always known from the beginning that this is what she's wanted to do. And that doesn't always happen for everybody. But at some point in time, if that does happen for you, reach out to your coach and say, hey, I'm ready. I'm all in. And I want to know exactly what I need to do to get to Diamond. I need to know exactly what I need to do in order to hit Success Club every single month. You know, reach out and ask those questions, because that is what your coach is there for. If not, reach up. I'm always here to help. But first of all, reach up to your personally sponsored coach to really work on building that relationship. That is huge in this business. Just like building relationships to connect with challengers, it is so crucial to build that relationship with your coach. So I always make sure my coaches know, like, I would rather be stalked and what you feel like is stalking and harassing. I love that, because I know that you're just like me, that you're a go-getter, that you want this, and that you have questions because you're in there doing the work. Okay. So just a couple snippets and highlights about this pretty lady here. So I've already shared with you guys. We met through social media. She saw one of my posts. We did not know each other whatsoever. I think her mind was pretty much made up that she was ready to do this when she saw my post. And it was strictly, the post was just sharing what I've done, what I'm looking for. I was very intentional about it, and it spoke right to her. So that's the power of just putting it out there, and you never know who you're going to attract, right? You get some rock star like Shalida. So Shalida started off about 14 months ago and hit diamond in 29 days. She is a Success Club all-star. And she is a team leader on the leadership ladder. So right there, that goes to show you what an incredible leader she is in duplicating coaches to hit Success Club, duplicating Emeralds, and really building that team volume, which is a huge part of taking your business to that full-time income. She has 2 lifetime diamonds, and she truly is an incredible leader by example. She is not going to tell you to do something if she's not doing it herself. And I have the utmost respect for this young lady, and I'm super excited for you to share. So go ahead and take it away.
Wow. Well, thanks, Jessie. I love you so much, and super honored that you invited me to be on this call. Gosh, I would not be here if it wasn't for you. So just know that you are amazing. So hey team, I'm so excited to pretty much tell you guys about my story. Jessie kind of shared a lot of information, so it's kind of good because I can just go ahead and dive in. But I did want to give you a little bit of my background for those who do or do not know a little bit about myself. But before I got into Beachbody, and the reason why Jessie was saying how I was so ready to start, before I got into Beachbody, I had gained over 65 pounds after having my daughter. Found out that I had hypothyroidism, and I could not lose the weight. I felt down, depressed. I tried everything, the shots, diet pills, oh gosh, you name it. I've tried everything. I tried no carbs, everything. And eventually just said, you know what, I just need to do the work. Just do the work. So I went to boot camp, worked my butt off. Let me tell you, woke up at 4:30 in the morning, rain, sleet, hail, snow, whatever. I was rolling in the mud, everything, doing what I had to do to lose the weight. Within about 4, 5, 6 months after that, I had lost almost 65 or so pounds. So I felt amazing. I felt like I've accomplished something. I eventually even ran a half marathon, something that I said I was going to do, and I did it. And I felt just so great about myself. The other part of it was that I was looking for a job that can give me a little bit more increase, looking for a promotion. And I received an offer letter to relocate from Atlanta, because I was at Atlanta at that time, to go to Savannah. So for that relocation part of it, I was like, okay, wow, I'm going to be relocating and going to this new job. For those who do not know, I've been in HR for almost 15 years. So HR has been everything. I've been doing it for so long, and I just always wanted to move the corporate ladder. So they relocated me, relocated my family, everything, but then I went out of routine. So I didn't have the boot camp anymore. I didn't have the friends and those who were able to push me forward. And basically I got there and I started gaining weight again, you know, because I got off of my routine, and I started gaining about 15 or so, almost up to 20 pounds gaining. And I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. I worked so hard, worked my booty off. Then on that, the added stress at work. So what I thought I was getting to at work was totally different from what I was, you know, expecting. I had to work 10-hour shifts, 10 to 12-hour shifts. I did a lot of the brutal work, the grunt work, which was the terminations, the investigations, and still currently have to do some of that stuff. And it was really hard for me. So it was a lot of stress eating, a lot of just feeling like, gosh, I've been bamboozled. I mean, goodness, I thought I was going to come into this corporate world. I was going to, you know, make this great money. And I was just deflated. I came there and it didn't give me everything that I wanted. So I was asking God and just really introspecting, trying to find out what was the right thing for me to be doing. And so lo and behold, that's when voila, it was Jessie and her ad, and her coach ad. I mean, honestly, maybe a year or two ago, I probably would have looked at it and kept scrolling, but it was just at the right opportunity. So sometimes I know we as coaches, we're thinking, oh, I just put this ad out here. They're not going to do anything. They're not going to say, I don't get that many likes on that ad, but I don't know. That ad stood out with me. Jessie was smiling and she was saying how, you know, you're a busy person. You're a hardworking mama. I'm looking for you. If you want to get in the best shape of your life and help others. And I was like, yeah, I gained like 20 pounds. I would love to help people because I know how I felt after my transformation. So I went ahead and applied with Jessie. So thankfully, I'm so thankful that I did it with her because I'm very forefront, very blunt. I do believe in going for whatever you set your mind to, very driven. And so when I remember that first conversation, I was kind of thinking back about that conversation, Jessie, but I remember the conversation because I was really blunt with her. So she called me after I did my application. She says, you know, you applied for this position. Tell me a little about yourself. And I talked to her about myself and I said, hold on, just, you know, be honest with me. How much do you make? And it got quiet and, you know, she was so sweet. And the reason why, because I was looking for a career change. So it was like, I need to know if I can eventually leave my job and to be able to do this Beachbody thing full time. So when Jessie told me how much she was making, my mind was blown. I was like, what? You do what? And that's all you do? And she was like, yeah, I just help people. And I was sold. I was sold from then on. So I know everybody's story is a little bit different. But one thing I did tell Jessie is that, hey, teach me what you do because I want to be there. I want to do exactly what you're doing. So do not hold bar anything. Tell me directly what it is. And from then on, I just knew I was going to go in and I was going to do this hard. I was going to make no excuses about it. And that's what I said going into it. So, you know, that's kind of how I got started into it. Later on, I just jumped into it. And then later on, as I was building and getting the emeralds and becoming the diamond and everything. So once you know, everybody's pushing to become a diamond, you know, diamond is like, that's where you want to be. So when Jessie told me she did hers in 27 days, I was like, shoot, I'm going to beat that. I'm going to do mine in 25. And yeah, no, I didn't get it in 25, but darn got close. So I'm that type of person, like competition, but healthy competition. But that worked for me. So everybody wants to get to diamond. Everybody wants to achieve that. But then what happens after you get diamond? And so for me, I knew in my mind that I worked too freaking hard to get to diamond. I'm not going to lose it. And how do I do that with working a full-time job? So what I had to do was I had to figure out a way that would work for me. And so I'm going to kind of share with you all what I do to rock the business and to do my full-time job. And hopefully it will help you or give you some kind of tips on how you should do yours. But for me, I'll say a typical day, because we all know that there are some days where it's off. There's some off days there. But I'm going to just give you a typical day where I get up in the morning. I typically get up at 4:30 a.m. in the morning. And what I do is try to go to bed by 11:30. So if I can go to bed by 11:30, I can wake up at 4:30. This is typical, you guys. And what I do is I put on my workout clothes to bed. So I don't have to think about, I got to put on my workout clothes, you know, and then you kind of back and forth if you should work out or not. So I put on my workout clothes, and when the alarm goes off at 4:30, I literally roll out of the bed, and I have my shoes right there, and I'm going in the garage, and I'm just, it's just like, I don't know if you listen to Tony Robbins, your rituals. I don't even brush my teeth, y'all. I just roll out of the bed, and I put on my tennis shoes, and I go into the garage, and I have my phone on me, and I'm not doing anything with my phone. I'm not checking any messages or anything. I'm just putting in my my Tony Robbins, because I'm listening to The Ultimate Edge, and I just put it in my ears. Kind of got like that from Jessie. And I put it in my ears, and then I just do my workout. And I'm not listening to Autumn while I'm doing 21 Day Fix. I'm just listening to personal development. I'm barely up. So I'm just doing my workout, trying to get it done before 5 o'clock. So I'm like, by 5:10, I should be done. I should be done with my workout. So at 5:10, I'm running to the, to the kitchen, and I'm making my Shake-Yo. Y'all, I'm telling you, this is kind of like ritual right now. So I go into the kitchen, make my Shake-Yo. My favorite Shake-Yo is vegan chocolate or cafe latte. Do my little shake, go in there, stir it up, and then I'm drinking on it, and going back to the room. And I hate to be like really telling you step by step, but I'm guessing that's going to help maybe trigger somebody to help them with how they do their rituals. So I drink my shake, and I know I'm smelly, and I go on, I have a little, probably like half of it in there, and I got to take my shower because I got to get ready for work. So I get into the shower, get out of the shower, got to get my daughter ready and dressed. She's not a morning person, and trying to run her into the bath. So my whole thing is getting her ready, getting everything done before 6:30. So if I can get everything done by 6:30, I'm going to have an awesome day. Does that typically happen? No, but we're talking about a typical day. So about 6:30, we get in there, and I'm driving her to school, dropping her off. Now that she's at summer camp, so I drop her off at summer camp, and then I am going into work. I get to work about 7 o'clock, and you guys, no lie, I get into work, and while I'm on the drive on the drive to work, I have still personal development going with Tony Robbins, because I have his CDs too. So I have the disc there. I'm getting it in like crazy. And so when I get to work, I'm literally in the parking lot sitting there because I got 30 minutes to get into work. So I'm sitting on my phone, and this is the time where I post my personal page on Facebook. I'm posting that on there. I'm also posting in my challenge group. Maybe my Shake-Yo drinking or something really quick. I'm also posting, I may post something in my PS coach page. And then what I'm also doing is contacting at least 5 people about starting the challenge group that I have coming up. At least 5 people. You guys, I am really focused because I don't have that much time. So that gives me about 30 minutes because my butt needs to be up at work. They're looking at me. I actually have folks standing outside the door waiting for me to talk to me about whatever work related. So I have to get in there. So that's kind of the time before I go into work. So while I'm at work, I'm working, trying to do what I need to do for work. And like I said, I'm doing as an HR manager. So I got a lot of things that are happening, but then I get like a little break. And so during break time, like 10 o'clock, I may post something in my PS coach page group if I haven't done it during the 7 o'clock time. So I may do that. Okay. And so once that's done, throughout the day, I got lunch. So lunch break. So I don't know what time most people go to lunch, but I go to lunch from 12 to about 1, maybe 1:30, 12:30 to 1:30. So during that time, y'all, I even have it on my phone. So this is good because it helps me. I put alerts on my phone. You need to post. And it comes up, post 12:30. It comes up. Even for my morning post, it says 7:30 post. So when it flickers on, I'm like, oh shoot, I haven't did my post yet. So for 12:30, I'm putting in my post. I know that there's other people that have ways of posting it or using, I think it's like, I don't know, I can't remember the name of it, where you can post on different social media like Twitter and all at the same time. But for me, I like it organic. I like to post how I'm feeling at the time. My morning posts are always going to be some kind of personal development, something that I'm actually going through where I feel like this is something I want to share with others. Like for instance, today it was forgiveness. You know, I'm going through some things personally, and I just felt like, you know what, I need to share about being forgiving so you won't block your blessings. that's something that I post out there. I like it organic, so I don't I'm sorry to say I don't have it all, ready and prepared for that certain time. So at 12 o'clock, I'm doing my post. It can be on food. It could be on anything that I am dealing with at that time. It could be something silly, something funny, something really about me. And I don't really want to go into the social media part of it, but that is huge for me. Social media is so huge. You have to be authentic. You have to be yourself. You cannot stand behind the Shakio. You cannot stand behind the product. They're looking for you as a coach, and they're looking to you as for instance, they're looking at me as Shalida. What does she have to say that's going to help me throughout the day? I truly believe that is huge, and that's been paramount for me in my business, is because people truly get to know who I am. And I started really working on that a lot when I did my Perfectly Imperfect journey, where I did the 21-day ultimate reset. Really had to dig into being authentic, really had to dig into sharing who I am, because I'm very introverted. I am the extreme introvert person. So that was the hardest thing, but like I said, I'm not gonna go on that soapbox there, but your social media is so key. You got to really hone in on who you're trying to focus on, know your target market. I know my target market is busy, career-oriented mothers. I talk about it all the time. Simple tips, quick tips on how to eat, how to prepare your meals, whatnot. Okay. So that's for 12 o'clock. I'm trying to talk about some kind of things that I do as a busy mom, career-oriented mother, whatever. I do my post there. And then I have to go back to work. So I'm working again, working. I get off at 5 o'clock, typically, sometimes maybe at 6 o'clock. But at that time, I am, picking up my daughter. I'm getting her from either camp, or I'm getting her, from school. And I really want to spend that time with her. So from 5 o'clock till about 8 o'clock. So I do have business hours. So from 5 o'clock to about 8:30, I'm spending time with her. I'm talking to her. I'm preparing meals with her. What else? I'm watching some TV with her, whatever she likes to do. I'm having that time, because I'm a mama too, and I don't like to feel like I'm disconnected with her. I'll just talk to her. She'll read a book to me, whatever. So I try to get her in bed by 8:30. And so from 8:30 till about 11:30, you guys, I'm working again. So I know I'm saying this is part-time, but honestly, as you grow and as your team starts to grow, for me, I had to add some more hours. I also had to make some sacrifices. I don't get to watch a lot of the season premieres and all the Netflix things. I'm working my business because I really want to make this a full-time career for me. So from about 8:30 till about 11:30, what I'm doing during that time, I'm following up with my coaches, finding out how are they doing, how's things going. I'm also, if I have any new coaches, I'm doing the one-on-one calls with them, getting started right call. We're going over what they need to do to get started right. We're going over the form that we send. We're also going over what they need to do as far as writing their dream list. I have them anybody who starts with me, I have them create a 30-name dream list. And I call it that is because they should already have in mind who they want to have on their dream team. So dream team list. And for me, I say put 30 names down there. Think about your friends, family. These are hot leads. These are people that you could probably talk day to day, maybe your neighbor, somebody you're really close with. And think about these people and how you would reach out to them about joining you in your challenge. So we do that together. So that's what I'm doing during that time. I also have them screenshot me their dream team list just for accountability purposes. And then we can talk about it next week. Also during that time, 8:30, I'm also posting, of course, my 8 o'clock or 8:30 post, 9 o'clock post for the night. It could be anything really. It could be Tally reading a book. It could be anything that has happened throughout the day. And then I'm also, once again, I am following up with people that I've talked to the day before, and I'm also inviting maybe 5 to 10 more people. And most of my folks, and the coach team that I have with the Team Tough, they know how my invites look. I am truly old-fashioned, and they laugh because I show them my little piece of paper. But I have a piece of paper of like, man, I'm telling you, I go all the way out. I do like 100 names, and you guys nod your head because they know. I have like 100 names or people that I just, I come in contact, friends list, things like that. And these are the people that I'm going to reach out to. It could be throughout the week. It could be, maybe I have a huge push going on, but I try to show them my list of people that I do keep in contact with and that I do invite. I invite like crazy. One of the things that Jesse always is instilled in my brain is be a recruiting machine. You got to be a recruiting machine. And so that is one of the big things that I do. So that's what I pretty much do. That's how I kind of keep myself organized. Like I said, you guys, we're all a work in progress. I am a hot mess sometimes. Some days I get up at 6 o'clock and I'm like, shoot, screw it. I may have to do my workout that night. And so we have to work it however it works for us. So, don't say, oh, Shalida has it all perfect, because Shalida does not. She does not have it perfect. I miss calls sometimes. My coaches know sometimes, like, Shalida, wasn't we supposed to have that call? I'm like, oh, darn, yes. And it came up on my alert and I forgot. So don't beat yourself up if you do forget, and if you don't have an organized calendar or whatever, but do your best, especially with limited time. You only have so much time to do what you got to do. You got to make sure you still keep your family there, still be engaged with them, and you also have to make sure that you're doing your business. So one of the few things that I wanted to say though is, for me, and I contemplated even talking about this, but just a sidebar is that you have to realize this is what I want to do. At the end of the day, you have to be all the way in. I think a lot of coaches start off thinking that this is going to be really quick and it's going to be really easy to gain money. You're going to get people to sign up like this and that and the other. And it just doesn't work like that sometimes. You got peak seasons, you have some really low seasons. And I think for me, I thought, because I came in and I was just like booming. It was just happening so quickly that I was like, oh yeah, I know. And no, you're going to have some low season, and it's okay. It's okay. We all do. You're going to have some months where it seems like every freaking person is telling you no. And you're like, dang, is it something wrong with me? But what I want to encourage you, and I always talk to our coaches about that, is personal development. I thought personal development was so corny before I got into Beachbody. I did. I was like, I don't do that kind of stuff. I don't need that. I got my own personal development here. And you know what? I swear to you, I do it now every day, because there's some days where it's intense. There are some days where just everything goes haywire. The daughter is sick. My husband is pissed off because I didn't make the food. I get to work extra late. People are hanging outside the door. And you're just like, screw this. This really sucks. I'm really having a horrible day. But the personal development is what really helps me to hone in and to focus. I'm loving this Tony Robbins, y'all. If you have not gotten that Ultimate Edge program, OMG, what are you waiting on? This it's been so motivating for me, because I listen to it every day. Every time I get into the car, there's some days where I'm just not feeling it. So the reason why I'm saying this is that you've got to be all the way in. You can't have one foot in and one foot out. There shouldn't be, for me, if you're trying to make this full time, I'll say that. If you're just a hobby coach, then don't worry about this. Just scream me out now. Don't even listen to what I had to say. But if you're trying to make this full time, you're going to have to be all the way in. There's no ifs and buts about it. You guys, I'm just going to be very authentic because that's the only way I know how to be. I've always been that way, even on my page. But there is some days, even this past month, where I was like, should I be doing this or should I not be doing this? I had those days where I'm like, what is freaking happening? You know, where you built and then things start to crumble. And I had to dig deep and I had to find out what was my why, because my why wasn't there some days. And there's some days when I just said, you know, screw this. This is crazy. This is not going to happen. And having these bad negative stuff come in there and just eat at you. And I try to be positive, but there are some days that way. But I'm so thankful because I answered that question. And you know what? Heck yeah, it's worth it. Heck yeah, it's worth. I put too much time. I've invested too much time. Oh my gosh, I've invested money. I've invested into this program. I've invested into other people's lives. How can I just drop off and let them hang? How can I do that? These people have gotten to these programs because of me. These people are become coaches because of Shalida said that you could do this. And why would I just drop off now? I can't do that. And so all I'm telling you is make a decision today. If you're going to do it, stop half-assing it. And I hate to say that, but don't half-ass it. Go all the way in. There is not a B, there's not a C plan, there's not a D plan, there's not even a little, you know, a bridge back there that you can just walk back to. I don't have any bridges. This is it. This is it. And when you start realizing that this is it and this is what you really want to do, then there's no excuses. I have a baby girl that I promised her that we are going to leave and I was going to be on the beach with her. I have a baby girl that looks at her mommy and says, mommy is going to do this. Mommy told me and promised me that we're going to be on the beach. And you know what, y'all? I am going to be on that beach. And I am going to be with my baby girl. And that's my why. I'm going to create a legacy for her where she doesn't have to worry about money and she doesn't have to worry about not having her mommy there because she's working 10 and 12 hours a day. You guys, that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me focused. And yes, I have some bad days. I have a lot of bad days actually, but you know what? I am focused. And that's all I want to implore to you today. I don't want to be on this little soapbox, but you know what? Decide today that this is it. Okay? Decide that this is what you want to do. If you want to help people and you want to do this and you have a strong why, dig deep. You know, find that inner spiritual, whatever you have there, find it and go hard for it. Go hard. Why not you? I say this to our team of coaches all the time. Why not freaking you? Why can't you have that? You know, shoot. So like I said, I'm not going to preach, but I will say, make sure you find your why, dig deep. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have them, but you're going to have some awesome days too. So I think that's pretty much it. I hope I hit on everything that you wanted me to hit on, Jessie.
That was awesome. I'm over here telling everybody I have the chills. I love how real you are if you guys paid attention to how she structures her day, even though it's chunked up into tiny bits of time, do you realize that every action she takes is around the vital behaviors? Everything she does is action that is going to bring success in her business. And what I love about Shalida and the way she has worked her business is that she works her business and then shares with her team what she does. And just because you become a leader and you have coaches that you're working with you don't need to know everything. We are all students each and every day. And we are all here to admit, like, none of us are perfect. And I love that. I love hearing it from other coaches on our team that just speak the truth. Like, no day is a perfect day. Like, how rare does a perfect day actually happen? I mean, well, of course, there's not really a perfect day, but, you know, an excellent day is what Tony Robbins calls it. You know, like, how often do those excellent days truly happen? Usually your day is going to fly off in one direction or another, good, bad, ugly, really ugly. And it's all about how you perceive it. And that's really where the personal development comes in. Like, you know, Shalida's had some super, super tough times. And in every single conversation I have with her, it's always the personal development. It's always the continue putting one foot in front of the other, because she's going to get through this. It's that belief. Just like the belief, you know, like, rank can get overcomplicated. What income to get to, Success Club, all of these things can get so into our heads and overcomplicated, because it's what you make of it up here. If you look at this business and you're like, freaking, I'm going to get emerald today, I'm getting diamond by the end of the month. Like, this is a piece of cake. This is what I'm doing. This is my strategy. And watch the heck out, because this is happening. But follow it up with action. Don't just talk. Follow it up with action. Because each and every one of you guys have taken the time out to be on this call. You want to make this business work for you one way or another. And it's everything she does in her busy schedule is all action-based to move her business. You didn't hear her talking about that she scrolls the newsfeed. You didn't talk about how you get stuck in the notifications. You don't talk about all of these time-sucking, time-wasting things that happen during the day in many coaches' lives, that they could be sucked in for 2 or 3 hours and get jack squat done in their business. When you go in with an intention to take action because you don't have time to waste, that is where your success comes from. That's where Shalida's success has come from. She is not messing around. She knows exactly what she needs to do. She's in and she's out, because she only has these 10 or 15, 30-minute time blocks. And she does. When you get to that leadership point, I love how you pointed that out too, that, you know, when you get to that leadership point and you're starting to lead a team and work with a team, you're working with coaches, you're sharing what you're doing, what's working for you. That is as simple as leadership gets. Again, it's all what you make of up here. I had not a freaking clue how I got where I got, nor how I was supposed to help somebody else get where I got, except for I just said, like, hey, I got to diamond in 27 days, and my goal was to hit Success Club 10 every single month. I'm not sure how that happened, but I did what they call the vital behaviors. And I just kept doing them until I reached that goal. That's it. That's where Tanya came from, poor thing. Like, she didn't know any different. Again, that girl blew up my phone asking questions. What did you do on this? What did you do on that? And I just shared, because I had no idea how to lead. That's what we do as leaders. We step into a role and we learn. What do you do as parents? Do you have a rule book? Because I would like to rule book on parenting if anybody has it. I'm pretty sure nobody has it. I've asked around. Same thing, right? You pop that baby out and you're like, holy Moses, what am I supposed to do? You figure it out, right? You fail. You fall flat on your face. You disappoint. You upset. You learn how to get better each and every day. It's the same thing with your coaching business. It's the same thing with leadership. You just have to get out of your own head and make it easy. Because once you do that, you are unstoppable. Once you do that, diamond's going to happen like that. Once you do that, you're going to start creating leaders that do the exact same thing, because you're not trying to reinvent the wheel. You're not trying to overcomplicate this simple process. Nobody said it was easy, but it is simple. Nobody said it's easy, but neither is life. Nothing worth fighting for is easy. Nothing. So when she talks about she has days where she's like, am I supposed to do this? Am I doing what I'm doing? It's because we doubt ourselves. How many of you guys doubt yourselves? How many of you guys have fears? How many of you guys think that you can actually be successful in this business? I remember when I first started talking to other coaches, I'm like, that's awesome that you're there. That's never going to happen to me. I could never wrap my mind around it. And guess what? It did. Because I never gave up. Just like Shalida said, you are going to doubt yourself. You're going to have fears. You're going to question yourself. But you know what? When you keep having faith, and I will tell you, a positive attitude, I swear by having a positive attitude, you will go big in this business. Big in this business. If you are setting goals and you stay focused on those small actions every single stinking day, like she's talking about. Do you hear that she is not inviting just 3 people a day? Did you listen? Like 5 people in the morning, 5, 10, maybe more at night. That girl is not messing around. There's no such thing as 3 people a day. You keep inviting. Does she run out of people? Did you hear her talk about that she's run out of people? No. Why? Because she keeps adding new people to her social media. She keeps adding new friends. She keeps rebuilding relationships. She keeps asking and engaging questions and getting to know people. And what the best part is, if you go to Shalida's page, you're going to be sucked in. Because she's raw, she's real, and she gives it her all. And she's figured that out as she's gone. She just keeps getting better. I remember sitting next to her at Smart Success. She's flipping all these little pictures with these apps, and I'm like over sick, wrapped in a blanket with the flu or something. And I'm like, Shalida, how do you get that picture? Like, what app are you using? She's like, oh, well, let me show you this, blah, 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 blah. Totally created this picture. And I was like, oh my God, the anti-tech person in me was like, that's going to take me like 2 hours to figure out. And guess what was on my to-do list that week? Was to figure out how to work that program in less than an hour, because that girl was like, here, do you like this quote on it? I was like, oh my gosh, that's fantastic. Now, hopefully it doesn't take you an hour to figure something like that out like it does me. But I'm just saying, she didn't start here. She has progressed. Like everything, be a student, absorb, soak it in. I was the exact same way as her. Like, who needs personal development? What is personal development? Like, aren't just people happy? Like, they figure it out. No, I'm a totally different person because of personal development. Shalida is a totally different person because of personal development. And I bet you any one of you guys on this call can agree to the same thing. Embrace it. Love it. Like, I can't get enough of it. And I love just how real you are, how easy you make it sound, but knowing that it's not easy on the backside. It's simple. All of the answers are there. We know how to do it. But the choice is yours. Like, you either do it or you don't. But I urge you, like, if you say you want this, freaking do it. Don't keep saying you want it. Just do it. At Leadership 2 years ago, there was a guy that stood on the stage that kept saying, just do it. Just do it. What do you want to do? Just do it. And it was so simple, but so true. If you want it, just do it. That's it. It really, truly is that easy. So you guys, please, 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 Photofy was the app. That was the app I had to figure out. And it's amazing. That's the one I always use now. So you guys, any questions you have for Shalida? This girl works full-time plus hours, extra hours, busy mom, super successful. She's got it going on. She rocks Success Club every single month. Do you guys have any questions for her? Just unmute yourself. Don't be bashful.
I have a question.
Okay.
How would you suggest going about if you don't work full-time and you're doing this, trying to approach people who do work full-time and making them think that they can do this too, when you're not that example to them, if that makes sense?
You know, I really think that's a great question, actually, to be honest. So I really think that just being yourself, just kind of just leading with your fear. So it seems like your fear is, you know, you don't do it full time. So how can I tell them that they can do it in part time? So just lead with that fear, which I've learned from Jesse a lot, is to just say, hey, I don't know. I don't even know how that works. I don't even know what you're going through and how you're doing this, how you will be able to do this as a business. I do know some people that are doing this full time and they do this part time as well. So I'm not trying to come to you as already knowing. So you're putting it out there. You're saying you don't do it full time. You say you're not, you know, you're working full time. And so you're putting it out there. And then that makes them feel good because you're like, oh, okay, well, I appreciate her for being honest, first of all. But hey, I do know some people that are doing this full time and doing it part time, and they're doing an awesome job. And you can definitely do this, and just share their successes. But that's how I would approach it. I don't know if Jesse has another way of approaching it, but that's kind of how I would do it, Nicole.
Okay, thank you.
The only thing I would really add to that is because I wasn't working full time when Shalida signed up. It's the organization, you know, like this is where it is super important for you. It doesn't take a lot of time to work your business, but you have to be very efficient with your time that you do have. So, you know, you can start off with an hour a day and hour and a half a day, and you can chunk it up into times, 15-minute, 20-minute intervals. We have great tracking devices to be able to make sure that you're being accountable for the actions to move your business forward. And that's something that will help you be more effective with the little time you have. You know, saying little things like that reassure them that, you know, okay, I have something to follow and something to kind of track. I think that's important too. But keeping it simple is huge. And leading with your fears is huge, and just putting it out there, like Shalida said.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
Yep.
If I could ask a question about your teams on the leadership side of it, I'm struggling to find a good way to get people started in a way that's duplicatable. I'm doing a lot of, one-on-one with people. Of course, isn't that what always starts happening?
That's right.
Okay.
Anyhow, I guess what I'm struggling with is getting very much participation in anything. And I know that that's just going to happen a lot. You could run. I've been just doing in my team page things like daily a topic and then some action steps. And I just thought, well, I'll just start posting daily there, and the people that want it will go for it, and the ones that don't. But are you having any? Do you have a certain way that you are getting your new coaches started, or I know it's probably a big, huge question.
No, I love that question, to be honest with you. And as I have some of the coaches on this call, so it's kind of funny that you're asking that question. When I first started, Jessica, I was the only one talking. Okay, I was talking to myself for 5-6 months, like not even getting any likes on what I was saying in my PS coach page. Like I was like, hello, is anybody hearing me? Is anybody out there? Literally no one said anything, but I acted as if, and that's one thing Jesse always talks about, acting as if there was 1,000 people in my PS coach page. And I just put in there what I was doing throughout the day, put it in my little, here's my to-do list, here's what I'm doing, y'all. I'll put in some personal development for them to look at, listen to. I was trying to give them some little incentives here and there. And then eventually they started sharing, eventually they started feeling like, okay, well, Shalida's going to keep talking to herself. Let me throw her a bone and let me just say something. So eventually it did happen, but I was talking to myself for a long time. And then what I also started doing was having those one-on-one conversations with them in the background. The getting started right call is huge. It's very
Right.
paramount to kind of find out exactly what they're wanting out of the business. Everybody does not want to be full-time. I get
Right.
that. There's some people that just want to get their shakes for free. There's some people that just, I don't know, they just want to watch you. I don't know. But there's some people that want to do, so I had to do that one-on-one with them to find out exactly what they were trying to do and also help them get to what they wanted.
Okay.
Not just put my expectations on them because, hey, I'm pretty intense. So,
Right.
So I had to find out what motivates them, what's their drive, because what my drive is not their drive, and find out what that is, and then you help them with that. And you run with the ones who want to run, and you just walk with those who want to walk. And whatever it is, you meet them where they're at.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like good advice. I think that's the hard part when you feel really driven and you're putting the time in and you're doing the work and you want to like help them be able to do what they want. They will say they want, but you know, I don't like to look like, oh, I'm trying to make you do all the same things I'm doing. Like that doesn't, you know, that's not what I mean, I guess.
Right.
But
and then Jessica, also one of the things that I did was, shoot, I don't have those people yet. I better be looking.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. So if you don't, so I know exactly where you're at. So I was like, shoot, let me go out here and intentionally find the people that I know who wants this as bad as I want it. And I'm going to have some hits and misses, but I'm going to really intentionally find that business builder who wants to really grind hard and wants to build it just like I do.
Well, and it's happening. I see a few of those girls on this call tonight, so that's pretty awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I'm going to totally put Nicole on the spot here. So kind of to piggyback on to what Shalida said, but also to kind of like get a different perspective. I add all my discount coaches to my PS coach page, not the big team page. And Nicole, who's on the call, she was a discount coach for 3.5 years on my page. And mind you, she was on the big team page because it wasn't until a little over a year ago or about a year ago that I started my own PS coach page. I went through the same thing. It was like crickets, even though these coaches had been coaches for a while. It was like something new and another page and, you know, so on and so forth. And just like Shalida said, it's like you're talking to yourself. What I suggest is just continue to share what you're doing each and every day for your own accountability, and they will see that. But I want to ask Nicole too, because she was there for 3.5 years. And then just one day, boom, she was like, I'm doing this. And 20 days later, she was diamond. Like, no kidding. So Nicole, do you have any like couple nuggets of like over that time period, what is it that you were seeing in that page? Because I think those little things could be insight of like what to share and kind of to keep in mind of what people are looking for. I mean, Nicole's one person, but it kind of gives us an idea of what to continue to do or what to make sure that we are doing.
I think I would have to give some of that more thought and could have more information, you know, but off the top of my head, I did see your posts on those pages all the time because they would pop up on my newsfeed, and I read them a lot because it was interesting to me. Your success, obviously people would want to know, how is she doing that? How is this happening? So I liked kind of seeing what people were doing. I would see friends that are doing the same thing and start their journey and see how it was working for them. And I would see some people stop and some people keep going, and, you know, people stay at an even pace and everything. And I think that finally for me, it was more like, you know, she's still doing this. She's still making great money. She's still super happy. And all these people love her for what she's doing for them. I finally just think I want to do that too. And I think watching that long maybe helped me get somewhat of a idea of how it works in ways where I knew that you're posting all the time. I know that you're interacting with people all the time. I know that you would check up on me and say, are you still drinking your shakes? Do you want to try a different program? You would check in with me and stuff. And sometimes I would, and sometimes I wouldn't. But I think one day it just clicked that I'm like, I have to do it myself to get to where she is. It's not just going to happen watching on Facebook.
Awesome. So I totally put you on the spot there. But I think too, with what she says, the one thing you guys to remember is that, especially as a leader, you only have control of your choices and your actions, period. Bottom line, plain and simple, you have no control over anybody else. So you have to, like Shalida said, love and respect everybody for where they're at, what pace they are, but make sure that they know that you do love them, you do support them, you want to help them, and that you're there to do so at any point in time. Because you never know what is going on in somebody else's life. You never know. And, it goes to show you can't judge a book by its cover. Some person might have a tragedy and another person might have a tragedy, and one reacts totally different than the other. And they could have the exact same tragedy. So my biggest tip tonight is to remember that you only have control of your actions and your choices, period. And if you don't have the players on your team that are showing up, that are like you, that are motivated, get out there and find more, because that's in your control. You have that ability to continue to put yourself out there, to continue to recruit. The biggest thing that I have full circle realized in 5 years of coaching, of only doing challengers because I didn't know anything about recruiting coaches, to then trying to do both, then to try to really only focus on recruiting coaches. I mean, granted, I was doing both the whole time, but mentally I was like more focused in areas. Was number one, majority of people, I think the statistic is 70% of diamond coaches were challengers before. So if you can be a total badass at recruiting discount coaches and plugging them in and running these killer challenge groups and help people fall in love with the program, how duplicatable is that? Do you agree with me that the most challenging part is like, how do I recruit for coaching? Like, how do I put that out there, right? Especially when you're a newer person in this business. Like, how do I put that out there? But I urge you and tell you, you are more relatable at this point in time than you will be in a couple years. I will guarantee you that. I don't sit there and put out my income and share those things because I don't feel relatable. And I want to always be relatable to everybody. And so make sure that you are sharing how you fit this into your business. Make sure that are out in your day. Make sure that people know that you're working a business from home and how you fit it into your crazy hectic schedule. So that way people see that you're working a business and that you can fit it in, and so can they. You can be that example. Also leading with your health and fitness journey, sharing the good, the bad, the ugly. But if you're struggling, reflect. Like, when was the last time I actually followed a program and shared my success? That's going to be a huge part of your success, not only mentally, but also with recruiting your challengers. And, it doesn't matter. Progress is progress. I don't care if you lost a half inch. Be freaking proud of that and share that. If you earned enough to pay for your groceries, I don't know about you, but that would have been a huge celebration. Huge celebration, especially knowing $300 is that breaking point for most households to file bankruptcy. $300 a month. Now you tell me, is $300 a month doable in this business? Yeah. Yeah. So do you want to share that with people? Or do you want to keep it to yourself? Just saying. Just saying. Not like I'm trying to put anything out there, but I'm, kind of true. So think about those things. It's super simple. Like, when you think about this business, it is simple. It's not easy. You just continue to share what you're doing in your team page. You just continue to take action. You just continue to plug into the team. Because you guys, we all have the same struggles. We all do. We all go through life. So I love how real this call has gotten and how awesome. Does anybody have any last minute questions?
I have one question, actually.
Is that Laura?
Laura?
Hi, Lita. I have a question about you. Jess, you just mentioned about how many of the coaches come from being challengers, and that's where I've kind of gotten most of mine have been from the challenge groups and kind of, you know, went from discount coaches, and one of them actually just decided to, you know, she wanted to pursue from a discount coach. So I just added her to the page today, actually. But my question is, if I want to build up my husband's team, you know, because I'm working for that time and I'm going to get there. And if I want to build my husband's team, how do I do that if they're already my challengers? You know, so they're already, you know, on my account. You know what I'm saying? Like their account listed as me as their coach.
Are they a discount coach?
Yes. Well, no, I mean, if they're a challenger first and they want to become a coach, if I want to just have them under him, wouldn't they have to go in and physically change to him
No.
as, you know?
Yeah, are they a customer right now? Or
Yeah.
a discount
Yeah.
coach?
I had another customer who wants to become a coach.
So you would just give them his website.
Okay.
And then when they go to be specific and say, hey, I have a specific spot I want to place you. So make sure you go to this website and then verify, you know,
Okay.
whatever your husband's name is, as your coach. That is me, but it's under my husband's name. And follow the directions. It's super simple. And then from there, we can get you moving forward. And that's it. So if a customer,
I wasn't sure if it would revert back to me, you know.
It will if they don't. So in that spot where it says, would you like Laura to be your coach? You just, you know, if not, you put in coach ID name or something else. They would just put his name in, his screen name.
Okay.
Or
what am I waiting for?
Yeah. So a customer switching to a coach, it's easy. If a customer is switching over to a coach while staying a customer, you have to email coach relations and get that switch.
Okay.
Yeah. And a coach to a coach, it doesn't work. You have to quit and wait 6 months. So
Okay.
yeah. So you're on the easy end of the stick there.
Good.
Awesome. Good question. Anybody else have any questions? No? So tonight is our last call at 7 p.m. So we are hitting summertime hours. So every other Wednesday, 12 p.m. Pacific time, which will be 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we'll go back to evenings for the fall. And all calls will be recorded. I'm actually working on turning it into a podcast. So it's easy access. And then we'll be on the Team Rock Hard Bodies coach training website. So everything should be super accessible and very streamlined, and that you can just, you know, we're all into podcasts and listening to things on our phones. So how awesome would it be to just kind of have that click on your phone to be able to listen to those. So anyways, thank you so much, you guys, for coming to the call. Have a wonderful evening, and I will be popping up the recording. Thank you so much, Shalida.
Thank
so
you
much
Jessica.
for all of your nuggets. You were absolutely amazing. That was spot on.
Thank
Have
you.
a wonderful evening, you guys.
Thanks, Jessie. Bye-bye.